Hey sweet friends, let's do a bottle update. I was going to go ahead and update this bottle, so I thought I would just bring you with me. I'm going to make sure that you can see that. So this is just a little bottle somebody donated to me. It probably was some kind of liquor bottle. I like to do bottles in jars, so I'm going to take my glazed donut from Paint Pixie and go ahead and touch this back up. That's what color's on here, I believe. It looks a little darker than that, so it may have had a color mixed. I may have to end up painting the whole bottle. We'll let it dry and make sure, because sometimes it dries a little darker. It just needed a little bit of an update. It's been packed away, and I found it, and I said, boy, we need to really give it a little friendly update here. So we're going to do that. It looks like it's matching. I believe it is. I think it's just dried. Looks like the same color. And I've already got the top in it, so we'll just leave that in there. We won't mess with it. Just an update. So if you have old bottles and jars, these are so fun to create with. Just a little something that can sit in your bedroom or in any room that you like, just to give it a little different look. Now, you don't have to do it like I do it. You can do it with any kind of decoupage, cards, anything that you want to use. I do love this era that I'm doing, and I do love that look, so I'm doing mine a little pressier. So let's get that done and dry it up. The whole thing didn't need to be done, just that. We're also going to repaint our little roses right here. So I've got out some cotton candy and some dreamsicle. Dreamsicle is more of got a little bit of an orange tint to it, but it's the same colors that are in the piece that I'm going to use on here. So it's all going to blend. So I'm just going to take a little bit. I wanted to redo these roses. So I'm just going to take a little pink on that one. Update it just a little bit. And then I'm going to do, let's see, I ended up doing that one, the pink, okay. Did that one pink. I'm just gonna wash out this brush. And I'm gonna do the other one out of the dreamsicle, which is more of a peachy color. And I'm gonna put it right on this one. This had a pink on there, but I did want to kind of redo. These are Pixie Doh flowers, so they were made from the Pixie Doh. They're a little bit of a soft, more of a soft type material. You can still get that from Paint Pixie. They do have a discount on it, so go ahead and get yours before they sell out. Got some liquidation things on there that you can buy. Got that. Let's wash that out. And then I'm just going to mix the two and see if we can just kind of get a different color and see if we can kind of use that on this bottom one. Just kind of mixing those two colors together, see what we get. Pretty. It came out pretty. Let's just put that on here. And then we will retouch up our metallic on top. Oh, I like that. That looks pretty. Okay, that gave that an update. Let's update our little leaf here. On it, I'm going to use the sour apple and a little bit of the peridot metallic. Now, these paints come from the earth, so they don't have a real strong scent. You may sometimes you can have a scent of a little bit smells like flowers, something like that. That's because they use flowers to make them. So there's all kinds of nice things mixed in from the earth that you make these paints. That's what I love about them. I don't have any problem with using them. I accidentally got out just a little bit right there, y'all. I'll just go back and touch it up. I like to paint these before I ever put them on. It's a lot easier, but I did want to touch these up a little bit. So I'll go back in after it dries, and I will use the more of the glazed donut to fill that in. So we're going to let that kind of dry a minute. We're going to dry it up just a little bit. You want to dry that just an easy dry, because you don't want to put it right up on it because you don't want to melt your molds. So just do it at a distance. The molds are always also on sale, and she may still have this mold here from Paint Pixie. Check that out. The roses mold. It does have a mold that's got these roses. You just don't want to get too close because you don't want to melt those molds. It is a sculpting clay. That might have gotten that good and dry. All right, we'll go back and do our other later. I'm just going to turn it on this side. We are using this beautiful little card, this little print here, and I got this from my friend Sage in some Happy Mail. And I had forgotten I had them until I cleaned out, and then I found them in my drawer. So I'm trying to clean out and repurpose a lot of things and get some things new done. So I just wanted to do this. This can be for the whole love month. It can be for any time. Hearts are good anytime. So this is like a postcard. So we are gonna, it is kind of like having a cardstock. So we're gonna use that. We're gonna use those sides. We may trim a little bit off here at the top and leave that bottom. But we are going to take a little bit off right in here. Let's see if we can take a little bit of that off and then try to form it on our bottle here. I love this little top piece, so I'm going to leave it. And I'm going to leave that on the side there. Let's see if we can get, let's see how this is going to look. Okay. We may have to trim off those edges just a little bit, just to make it lay down just a little bit more. One thing about using a thicker paper is sometimes you got to work with it just a little bit to make it lay down a little bit. So let's just kind of fussy cut that. There we go. You may have to trim that just a little bit more to match. Okay, let's see how that'll work. That'll probably work right there. We may have a few wrinkles, and I'm okay with wrinkles. And I did not turn my iron on. We will just use a bag to put this on, and we won't worry about the iron today. So let's get our Mod Podge, and I do use the Multi Mod Podge. I found that this works really well. It's a matte, and it doesn't have those little shiny edges. So I do like this product from Plaid. I don't like all the Mod Podge products. They're just not for me, but you may, and you can use what you like. I like that this doesn't stay shiny, and it isn't showing, the edges of your print don't look shiny, and I kind of like that. So let's let that breathe just a minute. Let's get our plastic bag we're going to be using to put it on with right here. Isn't that a pretty print? Now, I love roses. Roses are kind of my weakness. We might need a little bit more Mod Podge on the sides here, so I'm going to put a little bit more to get this down. I'm just going to bring it over just a little bit. And a little bit on this side. And I think we've got plenty up here, so I'm just going to fold it down. And we might have to add just a touch of hot glue, or I can go back and iron it if it doesn't stay. Sorry about that. See, you can't press it too hard or you'll pull the whole thing off. Don't do what I do. Don't hold it too tight. I was trying to get it straight, but you know, that's what happens. Okay, let's see if we can get this edge down, and then we can work on those sides. This is like a cardstock. So it is going to be a little bit different. A little bit different. Okay, let's see now if we can get this edge over here. Down. Do that right there. let's try to put it like that. And then I know y'all can't see this well, but just give me a minute to kind of get it over the side. That's a little bit more, so I'm going to try to. One good thing is you can move it a little bit once you iron it down, it's there. But if you still are messing with it, you won't have to do that. Now let's see if we can get that down. Now you also can put just a tad of hot glue on this type of material, or your other glue, a thicker glue. It is going to take it a minute to stick. I'm just going to hold it down a minute, get that to stick. And sometimes your Mod Podge is just not quite thick enough for some of this type of paper. It will stick, just give it a minute, put a little extra on your edge, just like that, up under it and on the edge. It will stick if you'll just be patient with it. Okay? But sometimes you have to go back and give it a re-stick. Just when you're dealing with this kind of product, you sometimes have to go back and give it a little extra. So that's sticking right now. All we'll have to work on is the top up here. So let's get us a little bit more. And I do like to use a sponge. It works best for me. I'm just going to put a little bit up under these edges here. It's going to dry to be more of a clear, even though it looks white right now. And then that side. And I'm just kind of folding it down. It may have a little wrinkle. I'm okay with it. So I'm just going to use my fingers and hold it. And it's okay if it has a little wrinkle. Wrinkles are good. We earn those wrinkles. Let's put a little bit more right here. Push that side down. And then we'll let it dry. We'll put a little bit more on the sides to help hold it. Right now, I don't want to put any more where it has some more that doesn't adhere to it. You don't want to put so much and just keep putting it that it won't adhere. You give it a little chance to adhere and then go back and add some more. But that's looking beautiful so far. I'm loving that. So let's go back to our other side now. We're just going to leave that sitting up for just a minute. I am taking some metallic called Statuary. It's kind of same color that's on our little top here on our piece of glass. It's got a little bit of this color looking on it. So I'm just going to take a little bit on my finger, and we're just going to give it a little highlight. Just a little highlight here and there, and that's just going to bring that to another level. A little bit right in there. I just use my finger. It's the same thing as using some of those other products, but this is a lot less expensive than a lot of those products. These metallics are really good priced, and she's got them in every color. Now we've got that on there. That gave it a little highlight. You can always add more, and you can put just a tad down here on your leaf. And look how pretty that just, and the same thing is already on this top piece. You can put it on the edge of your bottle if you want to, so we might go around and do a little bit of that. You can put a little bit up here on the top. So I just like to just do just a little bit on this top up here. And that just kind of blends it all in. And if you accidentally get too much, just wipe it off, or just paint it back if you need to. All works out. And we're going to keep working on this till we get it to kind of stay down like we want, but we're going to let it just kind of rest a little bit. And then you can take that same statuary if you want to, and take you a little small, just a little tiny brush, just one of these little tiny brushes. You can dip back in that metallic, and then you can just add a little bit to your piece. your little paper here. If you want to, you can leave it plain. It's totally up to you. And then I like to just take it very, very little, take a little off, and then just highlight with just a little circle, just a little, like a comma. Didn't get enough on, took too much off. Let me get a little bit more. You just want a little bitty brush. And then I'm just gonna go around here in just a couple of places with my color on these roses, just to bring them out a little bit, just to give them a little bit of extra. That's gonna help them pop just a little bit. And it's gonna end up matching everything that we're doing here. So just a little bit without taking away. I'm gonna put a little bit up in here and a little bit right in there. And I just make some little commas, just little commas. And that's going to help that stand out a little bit more and give it a little bit of extra. So it might be hard for you to see, but I just added just a little bit here and there, just to update that, just a tad, Excuse me. So that's looking good. I like the way that's looking. I'm gonna put a little bit right up in here where I didn't get enough on. There we go. I'm liking that. I'm loving the way that side looks. I've got that pretty so far. We can always touch up with a little bit more of that paint if you need it. I see a little place right here that needs a little touch up, maybe a little bit around here. And I think I needed just a tad. Let me get that little brush back with that little 3 hairs in it. These little brushes are great for anything that you need to touch up like that. Okay, don't need that color, I needed the other color. I was talking, imagine that. Okay, and listen, just laugh with me, because that's okay. We all get to making mistakes when we're crafting. Okay, I've got that glazed donut back there to kind of fix that green that I mixed up, because I kind of got over just a little bit. So we've got that fixed back up. Isn't that pretty? And then we have this. Okay, I'm liking the way that's looking. Now you could add some rhinestones to this. You could add some pearls if you wanted to. I like it the plain. I'm okay with it. I think I will take a little bit of I'm going to take a little bit of Distressed Oxide in the Vintage Photo. Let me grab a brush. Instead of wax, I think I'm just going to use a little bit of Vintage Photo. Now, I like to just barely put a little bit on, y'all. Not a ton. Just right here on the edge. Just to blend that in. It's already got some brown on it, so it's just going to kind of add to that a little bit. Okay. Just like that. And then if you wanted to add some other color on your paper, you could do that. If you wanted to add some material or ribbon, anything like that would be pretty. You could add just a piece of ribbon across the heart if you wanted to. But we are going to add a bow. So let me just dry that just a little bit so we can make sure that's all done. And then I will work some more on that paper and probably put it down a little bit more. Or I might take my iron. I see one little place we need to touch up with our paint here, right up in here. Get that little piece right there. So I just barely put some of that oxide on the side. You can see it, but it's not overpowering. Just a little bit to make it look more antique. Okay, now we're going to take our bow. I've already made one up with some ribbons that I already had. I just put them all together. I did put a jewel on there. Now this jewel is not quite the color, but it does have in the background here, it's going to match our top and the other. So it doesn't have to be perfect or exact, just something that'll kind of match. I made a little bow up, and yeah, it's a little big, but I like them big. I like some big bows, so I'm good with it. Then we're going to take a little bit of the Distress Oxide and put on our little piece here, and this is out of the same paper. This is the same paper. I just cut a piece off. We're going to just do the edges of it in our oxide just to bring it that darker color. Not a lot, just a little bit on the edges. So we fix that. Now I'm going to take the bow and put it on here. And I'm going to pin our little tag. So this is just a little tag I like to add to mine. Oh, this one did already have a pin in here. I thought I had a pin in here. It's all right, we won't need but one. Let me take this one off. These little pins come from Amazon. I'll make sure that they're in my Amazon so you have a link. I believe they're already there, but I will double check. They're just little pins that you can buy, and I put a little piece of fabric on here so that I could pin it underneath my bow. I think we're going to put the bow kind of right here on the side. It is big, but I like them big, so I'm okay with it. If you want yours smaller, you definitely can. So let's put it up under here somewhere. And then let's just give it a pin, and that just gives it a whole little look on its own with the pin. So I'm going to pin through. You can pin up and down, you can pin sideways, however you would like to do it. I just grab some material, and these little pins work well. And this may be upside down. You can do it either way. It can go this direction or the other direction. Totally up to you how you want to do it. But I think the little pin is cute. Just adds a little something to it. Just a little something. So there we have our bow. Let's put our bow here on the side, and I think I'm going to put it on this side because we got a lot of roses on that side. I don't want to kind of take away from all those roses, but I want to do it to where we can still see our tag, and it's not too much. I may have to cut our tag down a little bit. I mean, our bow. It is big. So maybe I'll take a few of those out and make that just a little bit smaller. Then I plan to put it right over here on this side. I think it'll still be pretty, but I think I'll take a few of the loops out where it's not quite as big. Sometimes I get to making them and I can't stop. And then we'll have our little tag hanging down, and I will post a picture at the end of our finished project. Hope that y'all enjoyed that today and that you'll make you some jars and bottles. And I appreciate you being with me. If you will, please subscribe, touch that bell, give me a heart, a comment, and a thumbs up. I would appreciate it. I'll see you again soon.